Hi, he's Sam.
Oh, and he's Max.
And this is Movies Actually, our fresh take on new releases from both the box office and the streaming box.
And this time, we're talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day, the 2026 film directed by Dustin Daniel Cretton. Not Cretin, that would be unfortunate. Featuring the talents Tom Holland, Zendaya, John Bernthal, Sadie Sink, Florence Pugh, Mark Ruffalo, Marissa Tomei, and finally, of course, Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds.
Yeah, so we went and saw this last night. Well, last night and a week by the time you're watching this, and have taken a bit of time to percolate and sort of sleep on it, and are here to tell you what we thought.
I feel like, does that cue me up? That was?
I think it kind of was,
yeah. Okay, so I feel like I may be the good cop in this situation. I'm going to say straight away, it does have flaws, which I will get into, at least to some degree, in a little bit, but overall I really enjoyed the film. It was a Spider-Man movie. It was, as a number of people have already said, a very good comic book movie that endeavours, a bit like Deadpool and Wolverine, to embody either actual comic book covers or suggest potential comic book covers in a number of its scenes and action moments. Something I appreciate, although it perhaps went a little too far throughout the film. There were a number of scenes that went into slow-mo. There was the sense that the director was just going, look at my beautiful shot, which is fine, but you can't do it too many times, and maybe they did it one or too many times. Also, the film does have a couple of pacing issues. It does slow down, not necessarily unnecessarily, but awkwardly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It falters in its flow, its narrative.
It does, and I think as other reviewers have noted as well, the actual plot of the movie does take a long time before it actually resolves itself or resolves what's going on. It doesn't build naturally through the film.
No, it doesn't. I know a number of other people have said this is like two movies put together, and there is definitely that feeling. Ultimately, what we get only works with both of those movies mashed together. But we have to wonder what the original script or scripts look like.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with you there that as a piece of cinema, something to go and sit and enjoy in a movie theatre, it is enjoyable to watch.
It's beautiful. It's got some wonderful cinematography. There are a couple of fight scenes where the camera moves to rotate with Spider-Man's point of view during the action scenes. So instead of watching Spider-Man bounce around a static room, you're watching his point of view as he flips from floor to ceiling to walls and back again, pulling off various power stunts. You'll know if you've ever played Marvel role-playing games, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yeah, though, which was really nice. Those kind of things were good. And yeah, again, making this, for want of a better expression, a smaller scale movie rather than the world-beating stuff that you get in a lot of the MCU films was definitely the right move. It also means the film feels like its own thing in its own right and not just like one massive advert for Doomsday.
No, it is not, although it does have issues related to that at least.
But, and this unfortunately is where there are things about it that not only as a reviewer and as a comic book fan, but as a lifelong Spidey fan as well, I was like, yeah, you could have done that better. There's this thing that they constantly seem to want to do, and they've done it with this, in particular, with the Scorpion. They always seem to depower the Scorpion. Power level-wise, physically as an altered human, Scorpion is on the same power level as Spider-Man. He's physically stronger than Spider-Man, and yet they constantly, when they put him into films, just make him a regular Joe with a mechanical suit, with a mechanical tail.
Yes.
There is so much more to the character than that, which does a disservice to him. Unfortunately, yet again, we see more in this of the fact that whatever character Zendaya is playing, it's not MJ. It's not Mary Jane Watson. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, it never will be. I didn't like the character to begin with. I never did. She's too snarky, she's too sarcastic, and she's not MJ. No matter what people call her, she's not MJ. Never mind her looks. But I've gotten used to her.
Xadrum is more than just curious content on YouTube. We're also a small publishing house, with books covering a range of genres from 1940s pulp adventure to children's novels, and even a touch of the macabre for those who like their literature on the dark side. Our titles are available in both paperback and ebook formats. Ebooks are available on Amazon, but physical copies can only be bought exclusively through our website at xadrum.com. Jeff's got enough cash as it is, so why not help us little guys grow and thrive? Links can be found in our banner and in the description to all of our videos, and we look forward to helping you indulge your itch for escapism. My biggest gripe with it is that for all of the things they've done right, essentially nothing has changed. We are still in the MCU. The ideology that they touted through Phase 4 and Phase 5 is still here. It's just, as I've been saying on recent videos, when it comes to new stuff, this isn't about
the message.
It's the message. It's still there. It's almost Pavlovian. If they give you something nice, you won't notice the shit. As an example, in this, and again, part of the reason why I say Zendaya isn't MJ is an actress, a model, and a socialite. But in this, we find out that the character that Zendaya is playing is now an engineer who previously had a major in biochemistry, just enough to tell Peter Parker where he's going wrong on a technical point.
You know, I missed that. But you're right.
She may as well have just said,
I bypassed the compressor.
It was like that.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
It was basically that in this film. Yet again, as we see in a lot of films, you have male characters who are not allowed to have male role models. They still haven't undone the one bad point in the previous film, which was robbing Ben Parker of his legacy.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
And they even give the brief appearances by Aunt May her own equivalent of it, which is satisfactory and would have been fine if they'd have at least had her mention something about that it was something that his Uncle Ben used to say. Because they've given her own kind of version of it, and that works, because that's hers.
Yeah.
It's no different to how they gave Captain America's line about, when you know you're right and the rest of the world is telling you wrong, you plant your feet and say, no, you move.
Yes.
They took that line from Cap and gave it to Peggy Carter's niece.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm not done.
Right. Okay. I was going to join in.
Sorry.
No. Whenever you're ready.
There's that. You can't have two male characters realise that when they need to help each other. You have to have a woman tell them. Because she says to Frank Castle he has to go and help Spider-Man.
Oh, jeez, I missed that too. I have to admit, because as I've mentioned at the beginning, I'm a more forgiving soul. I am the good cop in this scenario. I have a tendency to accept narratives as long as they make some kind of sense. And it kind of makes sense because Frank is stubborn. He doesn't want to work with Spider-Man. He doesn't want to help him. He thinks he's a nuisance. And so MJ is talking up to do the job he's supposed to do. But that's the way I read it. But as soon as you say it that way, you're right. That is exactly what happens.
The worst example I've seen of that is in Kong vs. Godzilla, where you have the little Asian girl using sign language telling Kong that he should help Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Because two apex predators won't realise a bigger threat and know that they should work together. It's that kind of thing. So nothing has changed. And yet again, a character that is a hero in the comics who acts like a villain, even revels in her actions, which are villainous in intent, and suffers no repercussions or faces no punitive measures for her actions. And we are even supposed to sympathise with them.
Well, it goes further than that. I mean, I forget who it was. I've been watching a few videos today to catch up with other people's thoughts. And somebody pointed out that this character that Sadie Sink is playing is canonically one of the most empathetic characters in the entire Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. And yet acts as a quasi either psychopathic or sociopathic manner as a terrorist.
Mm-hmm. She revels in what she does. She taunts Spider-Man in what she's doing.
Sort of tortures him a bit.
Yeah.
Psychologically.
And yet we're supposed to believe that she's justified because of wrongs done to her by men. Yeah, fuck off. Seriously, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, the film tries to salvage that by implying that it's not all men, it's certain men. But it ultimately fails in that regard because almost everyone depicted involved in that situation is a man.
Yeah. As I say, just because you throw through breadcrumbs in there that people like doesn't change that the shit is still shit.
I will jump in because I did have one that still it does bug me. It's probably the one that's most obvious and egregious to me was the inclusion of Florence Pugh as the second Black Widow.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that it's a blatant advert for the Avengers and Doomsday and things like that, her inclusion works in a similar fashion. She literally uses the word "you are small potatoes." She uses the phrase "you are small potatoes." She denigrates him and she puts him into a very social socially awkward situation that, if the genders were reversed, would not be acceptable at all. So it's just another example of the message. Only
Exactly.
this one's a little bit more egregious. I noticed it. Max thought it was so obvious he didn't even think to mention it.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, because I think, as we were discussing a moment ago, that kind of deadpan Russian humour worked with Black Widow, with Scarlett Johansson, because it seemed to come from a real place of trauma. And you said it quite rightly. In this, it just comes across as mockery and almost a parody of itself.
Yeah, I mean, I've always struggled with the second Black Widow's humour. I know it's intended to be endearing and a little bit sweet, but it literally sounds to me nothing more than condescension and mockery. I just can't forgive it. I kind of have to grit my teeth every time she gets a long speech, because the longer she goes on, the more condescending she tends to get.
The point is that a lot of what is in here is really not that different to what we were expected to swallow in WandaVision.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
That is a really good point. It's a similar thing. I mean, people being forced against their will to do certain actions.
Yeah, and then we're supposed to think that she's done nothing wrong. The character that Sadie Sink plays, I think she is a good choice for that character, for the current generation.
Comes back to what I said a minute ago. That character is canonically one of the most empathetic in the entire universe. Partly because of her power set. That's not in evidence there. Even at the end, and actually I'm going to point out to you one that you didn't notice, is that the entire ending is to do with Marissa Tomei.
Yes, that's true.
It's not Spider-Man that wins the day.
Yeah, that is very true.
It's not Spider-Man that wins the day, it's Marissa Tomei. In a sense, you'll understand it when you watch the film. And that all just adds to what's the word? You know, I can't think of a better one. It's mockery. It's a shame, because this really is a good movie. It's fun to watch. The action scenes are amazing. Like I said, I like a lot of the cinematography choices that were made.
Yeah, Tom Holland is very strong in this part.
Absolutely. He does carry the range.
He does, definitely. But when you step back and think about it for 5 minutes, is it a good film? Nah, I'm sorry. It's not the successor to No Way Home that we were hoping for.
No, it's not. And also, I mean, I should have said this earlier, but I would like to mention that I also felt cheated, partly by the trailers, which depicted a number of scenes in the film which are literally the very shots that you saw in the trailer. Several of which I was joyfully expecting to see the full scene for and was deprived.
It does seem like they were included just to spice the trailer up.
Yes.
I've been deliberating quite a bit about what I'm going to actually rate this, and I still am. I'm going to have to say you go, because I'm still dumb. I can't decide.
Okay, well, that's all right. I've got a little bit of a speech myself. This one is a little bit difficult. I enjoyed watching it, and it is very much the best Marvel film we've seen in a few years. I've seen all of the Marvel movies and a few of the shows. Max hasn't seen every single one. And I can honestly say this is the best movie we've had, certainly since the last Spider-Man movie, if nothing else, depending on how you feel about other movies in the MCU. Having said that, it has its flaws, but it's really good fun to watch. So I'm going to give it a solid 1.5. I am going to watch it again, and I'll probably pick apart more then. But right now, it gets the half because I want to see it again. So there's my vote.
As for me, and I will mention something else that I know that Drinker mentioned in his review, which was like, actually, that's true. You could have made this film without Zendaya or Ned Leeds. And I think that would have been a better testament to the events at the end of No Way Home. You know, people always forget, and again, movie producers seem to forget, Peter Parker is not just a one-woman guy. You know, you could have had Gwen Stacy, you could have introduced Betty Brant, or technically already have. His schoolmate Liz Allen, who was infatuated with him for a time. Things like this. You could have done other things. For me, I am going to give it 1. As I said, I did enjoy it at the cinema, it was a good watch, but it's a meh.
All right.
So yeah, that's it for this one. There is a few interesting things coming up, so we'll be back with something then, and back with usual content next Friday as well. Until then, thanks for watching, and please do look after yourselves, look after one another, and take care.
As always, guys, TTFN.